If you are wondering what kind of content to post in order to attract buyers every time, I'm going to break it down for you in this video in 3 steps. And when I say buyer, I don't just mean someone who consumes your content and buys right away. I mean someone who is willing to invest in themselves and in a solution. They're not just looking for free tips and free tricks, they actually desire to make a buying decision. Because right now you are looking for a content strategy, but you can only have a content strategy when you have gone through these 3 steps that I'm going to share with you. So, step number one is to identify your edge. What is your unique approach or message for the marketplace? There is a way that you solve a problem that is different and unique than other people in your same niche. And that is your edge in the marketplace. I was actually thinking about when I had gotten a paper cut one time that I didn't even realize I had gotten cut because the edge of that paper was so sharp, I didn't realize until after. And then I thought, this is exactly what it's like when you identify your edge in the marketplace. It cuts through the noise that everybody else is talking about in the market. And people don't even see you coming because your message is crisp and it's sharp and it just glides right through. Your message in the marketplace is what starts to brand you, and not just brand your offer, but brand you as the coach, the expert, as the thought leader. And this is not just about putting out whatever you want, whatever thought process you have. It has to be attached to a specific problem. So, right now, you very likely know the concepts that you teach and the tools that you use to help your clients get results. But those are tools and concepts, and that is not a problem. You have to be able to take your concepts and your tools and understand what problem does that solve for your audience. And this is where I see a lot of people really getting tripped up because you're so good at what you do, you're just good at teaching it. But you've got to be able to invert that and understand, well, what problem is it solving for the people I desire? And if you don't know what problem you're solving, then you're showing up online teaching everything that you know, sounding like a textbook, and you're not actually delivering a cohesive message that your people go, oh, I got to work with that person. They're not going to connect the dots that what you know solves their problem. So it's really important that you understand what is the desires that your people are looking for. What is the challenges that they are currently going through? And the better you understand that, then the more you're going to understand what makes your approach so unique. What makes your approach something that your people are looking for? If you are not able to understand what their desires are and what their challenges are, then you're going to put out a lot of content and it's going to miss the mark in the marketplace because you're going to be creating content to make you sound smart, not creating content that makes them feel seen and heard. So don't skip this step in understanding what your unique edge is in the marketplace because we have to understand you have a skill and you have an expertise, but they're not paying for your skill or your expertise. Your audience and your clients are actually paying for their problem to be solved. So you've got to understand what is it that translates into the problem that they want solved. So this helps you to create so much certainty in the marketplace. And certainty is an energy that transfers through the screen in your messages, whether you write or you create video, it transfers through the screen so your audience can feel that you can truly help them. When you know exactly what it is you solve for, it's like solving for X. When you know exactly what it is you solve for, you can speak for it or you can speak from it from certainty. And it's that level of certainty that activates their buying decision within them. And not just any buying decision, but a buying decision for you because they desire to buy. They desire to get their needs met and get the solution. It's really just a matter of are you activating their desire to buy from you? And it is your unique approach, your unique edge that actually allows them to be able to do that. Okay, number two is to create your framework. This is your delivery mechanism of your unique approach, of your edge in the marketplace. If you don't have a framework, then you're just spewing out a bunch of knowledge, a bunch of information, but it doesn't mean that it's making sense to your audience. This isn't about you trying to look smart or you trying to come across like you know what you're talking about. You actually come across like you know what you're talking about when you understand them and their desires and their challenges. And when you take your unique approach, what you've identified as your edge, and you create your own framework, that is when your audience is going to be able to follow exactly how it is you help them and you support them. So, a framework is actually taking your ideas and your concepts and putting it in a step by step process for people to be able to consume. So, think about these 3 steps that I'm giving you right now. This is actually a framework. This is what I help my clients with. I take my clients through this exact process and it's customized and unique to them. So as you are listening to me, you are in your head going, okay, step 1. And then you're checking off all of these things. And now we're at step 2 and you're checking off all of these things. And you are now looking to see if you have these things. And then if you don't have them, now you're associating me with the ability to help you. The exact same thing works with your clients. You want to take them through a step-by-step process. Because you are so good at what you do, because you are so good and brilliant at just being able to teach and explain things, you know things on a very microscopic level. You know what is underneath the iceberg. But your audience is above the iceberg. When they are scrolling social media, searching up YouTube videos, they are actually above the iceberg. You're deep underwater and they're on top and they're just looking and scanning for a solution. They're looking and scanning for somebody that they resonate with. But if you're all the way at the bottom of the ocean talking about what's down here, they can't see you, nor can they hear you. So you've got to make what you know your skill set. You've got to make that relevant to them. And you've got to speak. And this doesn't mean that you are talking to them like they're not smart, but you are going to have to meet them at their level of awareness because their awareness level right now is above the iceberg. And the way that you actually start to really always attract these buyers is making it relevant to them. If you're always talking about what's beneath the surface, only a few and handful of people are really going to understand what it is you're saying. Not many people are going to truly catch that message. So you want to elevate that message into relevancy so that the people that are searching, they're like, ooh, I like this person. And now you can take them deep. The point of having a framework is to be able to bring people into your content ecosystem, which is going to lead me into step number 3. But you want people inside of your content ecosystem. Content and a framework isn't just about trying to sell your offer. It is about positioning your message as what your audience needs in order for them to go, ooh, I need that. And then they are linked and attached to your offer. Too many people are trying to create content that just sells something. But to sell something isn't the same thing as changing someone's perspective, changing someone's mindset, changing someone's belief system. When you do that, they're bought into you. And in order for them to be bought into your offer, they've got to be bought into you, your approach, and the way that you do things. And they can only do that when you yourself are so clear and confident and certain and have conviction in what it is you are bringing to the table to solve their problem. You've got to package what it is you know in a way that they understand it. And so when you start to think about your framework, that is your intellectual property. That is the way that you conjure up your ideas and you serve it to the marketplace. That is your IP. And this is what it means to create content legacy, where you're not just creating content for a moment, but you are creating content for a movement. You are leading a group of people and you're not leading followers. You are actually leading other leaders. You're looking for the leaders and attracting the leaders who are actually desiring to lead their own people. You're not better than them. They're not better than you. They all have their own unique skills and gifts, just like you do. And we are all here to learn from each other. And so having your own IP, having your own framework helps to create your brand positioning, helps you to have a message that stands out in the marketplace because it's now framed with the way that you do something. So if you don't have a framework, then I highly encourage you to click the link down below because this is something that I work with my clients on is understanding how to bring their concepts to life so that it matches the relevancy of the marketplace. The link down below is an application to apply to work together. There are a couple of ways that we can work together, but through that application, you'll be able to see the various ways and then we can set up a call. So it's essential that you have this because the way social media is moving right now, the way that people are making their buying decisions, they're not just looking to buy an offer or buy a solution. They're actually looking to buy into people. And so you can't just create the content that sells your offer. You must create the content that shapes their thinking, changes their perspective, makes their brain do a backflip in their own mind and go, ooh, I've never thought of it like that. That is what you want to do in your content. Because when you're doing that in your content, now they're like, I got to buy from this person. I like the way they think. I like the approach that they have. Because there's a lot of people that can teach on getting to the solution, getting to the end result. But it doesn't mean that that particular way or avenue of getting there is how your person is meant to get there. So they're looking for a resonance, they're looking for an alignment. And I always say that as God is attuning your voice and your message for the marketplace, He's also attuning your audience's ears to hear you. So you can't come to the marketplace with all the fluff. You can't come to the marketplace with what you think you need someone needs to hear, but you have to come to the marketplace with what they actually need to hear, not what you think they need to hear. I hope you caught what I'm saying. So this is about speaking the truth to people, not trying to sugarcoat it. That's why this video, I could give you a strategy, but I also know that you can't have a strategy unless you've taken yourself through these 3 steps. Okay, number 3 is creating your own content conversion engine. Now, this is actually where we get into the strategy. This is your distribution. Okay, so your framework is your delivery, and your content conversion engine is the distribution. What platform are you on? Are you creating video? Are you writing articles? Are you doing a bit of both? Are you creating short form or long form? Although I am a huge proponent of having long form video or some form of long form content if you like to write. But video, as we can see, is like really changing the game for a lot of people because you get to know people, you get to understand what their personality is like, you get to feel like you really know them and interact with them. I know you guys are already seeing a bit of my own personality, some of my jokes, some of my quirkiness. You're picking up on all of that, and you've already decided whether you like me or not. And if you do, great. And if you don't, also great. It's no sweat off my back. That's the point of content. The point of content is to deliver the information. And I have complete and utter trust that the people I'm meant to serve are going to come into my content ecosystem. And so when you have your content conversion engine, you are going from long form content into short form content. So you're creating either on YouTube or some long form article, and then you're repurposing that on other platforms like LinkedIn into an article or on Instagram into a short reel or potentially a carousel or both. I will take a YouTube video, I will create a carousel, and then I will chop up these videos and create reels for Instagram and Facebook. So I'm not doing a lot of work. I'm spending the time investing in the outline of this YouTube video, taking the time to record it, which I do no edit, so you guys can see all my hiccups and all my messes. But then I take this long form video and I create smaller bits of pieces. So I'm creating an engine. I'm also letting you know the ways that we can work together. So I'm bringing you into my ecosystem on multiple platforms because this is my distribution. This is how I'm helping you to understand how you can grow your personal brand and your business and enroll and attract premium buyers, premium clients. And so as I'm taking you through this system, you might be following me on Instagram. Maybe you are just here on YouTube. Maybe you're following me on Facebook, and you start to get to see the different facets of how my system is working. And you just keep pouring more gasoline onto the system. And by gas, I don't mean you do more. I mean you do what you're doing, but with better precision. Doing more does not mean you're going to make more money, but doing what you're already doing with better precision will always lead to more income. You don't need to try really hard to make the money. You want to double down on the skill set. You want to double down on what your unique edges in the marketplace, understanding your delivery system for that message, and then understanding what is your distribution channel to get that message out there to bring people into your content ecosystem to then sell your offer. Because this content marketing does the selling for you, because how I'm creating my content changes your perspective. It gives you a new angle, a new way to see something that you didn't see before. So it has you thinking about your business and content and your personal brand in a way that you just haven't, in a way that's different than how other people are telling you. So when you're able to do that, then that's when people are going to go, I want to keep learning from this person. And you keep nurturing people because you've already attracted buyers, because you're changing perspectives. Buyers are looking for a new vantage point. They're looking for people who understand them. And when you're selling your offer, it doesn't mean you understand the person. It just means you're good at showcasing what your solution is. But we're living in a time where people want a little bit more than what is it you have to sell. They're looking for genuine connection. They're looking for ways to feel like they really know you and that they're really jiving with you. And people are looking to invest in people who have similar beliefs. That's why I say you can't ever hold back who you really are in your content. And if there's any part of you that's ever trying to hold back in your content, then you are repelling the people that are meant to purchase from you. You're holding them back from making a buying decision with you because you're not being true and you're not being authentic. There's this part of you that's still trying to cover up what you think people won't love. As cliche as it sounds, the very moment that you open that up, you're going to attract the people that you've been desiring to attract because it's going to be such a magnet. Authenticity is a genuine magnet. But when you are not being authentic, and I don't mean that you're trying to do this on purpose, I just mean that there's a part of you that is still feeling insecure with maybe some of your quirks or the way that you speak or the way that you convey your ideas or, messages. Maybe you feel like the things you do are just too far-fetched for people to actually grasp. But I can tell you there's nothing new under the sun, and there's what my mom always says, every bread has its cheese. I still don't think I get what that means, but I say it all the time. Every bread has its cheese. Every single person has a message for other people. And when you come face to face with the seed that God has planted inside of you, which is the message he's put in you to comfort others, you're going to attract your people. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The money can't help but to find you because you are being authentic. And you're not trying to do that on purpose. You're just covering up the parts of you that you don't think people will love. And so when you do that, you are literally spraying like audience and client repellent at people. You're telling them to stay away when you aren't truly loving on yourself and bringing that to the world. So I trust that this video serves you and blesses you. Click the link down below if you are desiring to grow your personal brand and business, and you are looking for a way to do that in a way that is truly aligned with you. No hype, no fluff, just some strategy with alignment. Share this video with a business bestie, and I will see you all in another video. Bye.